time of the day when the sun is going down. That's the golden time of day. It's a time that the sun turns to gold all around. That's the golden time of day. At the end of the day, when the wind is soft and warm, ooh, Lord, it makes the flowers sway. When the sun settles down and it takes a lovely form, that's the golden time of day. People, let me tell you there's a time in your life when you find who you are. That's the golden time of day. And in your mind you will find you're a bright shining star. Ooh, that's the golden time of day. When you feel deep inside all the love you're looking for, don't it make you feel okay? Yes, like the time of the day when the sun is going down. That's the golden time of day. Ooh, that's the golden time of day. Oh, that's the golden time of day.
Can't you see it shining?
Ooh, shine, children, shine.
Can't you see it shining?
Let your love light shine.
Can't you see it shining?
Feel it, feel it, feel it.
Shining. Can't you see it shining?
Shine if you believe in love. Look above and give your heart. Yeah, yeah.
Can't you see it
If you believe in love, shine,
Can't you see
shine, shine your love, shine your love, shine your love.
Immortal. Yeah. Came out the portal, immortal into a human body. I've been existing way before the earth had Anunnakis. Intergalactical battles, intergalactical travels, infinitely going through stars. The universe will unravel all of its secrets. Peep it, I'm starting to leak it. Time for truth is coming, 100, it's time to seek it. Expanding my perception through the spectrum of light. I'm going in with spectrum and the shit's out of sight. We indigo children, yeah, we building frequencies through the ceiling. Penetrating through reality, a marvelous feeling. Regardless, we're healing these humans that be claiming we demonic. The resonance goes over their heads, we super cosmic. Your logic is ignorance mixed with fear in your thinking. My pineal gland is flooded, son, that shit don't be blinking. Sinking into your subconscious like a song with no words. The way I come up with these symbols of letters is absurd. Hey yo, my rhymes are like angelic beings. That shit is freeing, so pure that if you were born blind, I'll have you seeing. Breathing in a multi-dimensional light so captivating. Double helix is nonsense, so what I'm activating, feel the power from within, seeping right through my skin. From the earth into my feet as it goes up to my chin. It got me grinning, rotation like spirals, my music spinning. I told you that I don't be playing, still I'm always winning. Fibonacci to the haters, curve them right to the side. They don't understand the energy, it comes from inside. So inside is what I master, used to be a disaster. Now I'm gladly elevating to a whole new chapter. Yeah, I'm giving birth to a whole new style. I incarnated through New York, yeah, I rep Long Island. Don't get it twisted though, I'm truly repping this earth. I came to free all these humans and show you all what you're worth. Immortal. Yeah, raising your frequencies one soul at a time. As I pass this mic to my boy Spectrum, yo Spectrum, light that up, kid.
They tried to tell me I'm mortal, I told them I was immortal. They asked me what makes me different, I asked them what makes you normal. I just followed my morals and I unfollowed the formal. Hopped on a track with crews, now we straight cruising through portals. I download the Metatron, I'm reversing it till I'm dead and gone. If you think I'm dope, then you said it wrong. Not trying to flex, but I'm hella strong. Mine did things you never seen. When I say mine, you know what I mean. I'm the most when I'm in my mode, and y'all average is like the mean. I really didn't mean to go intervene. I'm the middleman chilling in between. You should do the math, we ain't keeping score. But I just hit a 3.14. I cook it up, make it look easy as pie. I'm moving in silence and seeing the sign. I am the G. If you remove me, all you gon' see is your sins. This is a big game of sins. The simulation is breaking again. I'm taking control, creating my soul. And if the truth fits, I'm breaking it in. Breaking it. All I really know is that I'll never know. I've been here for forever, don't know when to go. I think that indicates that I'm an indigo. In that case, I'm in the go. Green light, my heart, chakra booming. Solar plexus, Lexus zooming. You assuming that I'm human. I'm just being what you doing. I've been teaching teachers frequently. It's apparent I'm a parent when it comes to raising frequencies. The way I'm living life, I haven't rest in peace recently. Immortal with my technique, but my ego dying easily. Death is teasing me by leaving me with DMT. Now it seems to me that everything I see is seeing me. Life is just an infinite circle with a twist. I used to wanna be like them, now they do not exist.
Immortal.
Great dawning, Ken. Welcome to Aligning with the Evolving Cycles of Time, Knowledge and Meditation session. As always, thank you all for showing up. Much appreciated as we tap into these extremely motivating and inspiring sessions where we get into mind and Olmec cosmology. I'm Akil Sharif, and I share something about these cycles with you, a little bit about the cycles. We have Moon Goddess Ambrosia, the Fifth Force Oracle, who gives us an oracle reading. And High Priestess Makaru Amen, Kin 242, is going to give us a breakdown of the Yellow Galactic Seed, Kin 164, and Happy Galactic Return to Kin 164. And the question that's being asked for this plasma is, how do you navigate awareness? Again, I'm your host, Akil Sharif. I'm the white crystal mirror, and I dedicate in order to reflect, universalizing order. I seal the matrix of endlessness with the crystal tone of cooperation, and I am guided by the power of heart. Ashe, Ashe, and Asheo. This is our reading for the prayer of the 7 galactic directions. I'm going to play the recording and we'll get the session going again.
From the east, house of light, may wisdom dawn in us, so we may see all things in clarity. From the north, house of night, may wisdom ripen in us, so we may see all from within. From the west, house of transformation, may wisdom be transformed into right action, so we may do what must be done. From the south, house of the eternal sun, may right action reap the harvest, so we may enjoy the fruits of planetary being. From above, house of heaven, where star people and ancestors gather, may their blessings come to us now. From below, house of earth, may the heartbeat of her crystal core bless us with harmonies to end all war. From the center, galactic source, which is everywhere at once, may everything be known as the light of mutual love. Ayum, Hunabku, Eva Maya, E Maho. Ayum, Hunabku, Evam Maya, e maho, ayum hunabku, evam maya, e maho.
Ashe, Ashe, and Asheo. Gratitude to the prayers having galactic directions, putting us in vibrational alignment. And this is our mission statement, because we are mimic melanated immortals making evolutionary changes. Our mission is to shift the global consciousness of the melanin dominant population and establish an everlasting legacy of divine frequency beings with immortal health and immortal wealth through the application and remembrance of cosmic knowledge. Ashe, Ashe, and Asheo. And every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we hold the Melanin Frequency Vigil. And you got to come and check these sessions out to really experience the benefit from them. I don't know that I could explain to you. It's like if you've never tasted honey, somebody trying to explain honey to you. These are some powerful sessions that you know, they tap us into some deep remembrance. But we go through 52 frequency waves. It's a frequency wave every week or every heptad, and it taps into like the social issues, some of the social issues that we encounter, and we have 52 acts of unity to put action behind those frequency waves. And the frequency waves have been transmitted since the fall equinox of 2019. We're in the year of divine unity, and with that we have an affirmation that reads, we embody our natural love frequency, natural love, living as one in divine unity on earth. That's beautiful. Ashe, Ashe, and Asheo. And this is the kin that we're going through to this plasma. And again, happy galactic return to Shan the Sun Goddess, kin 164. We're going to read the affirmation. It's how I harmonize in order to target. Modeling awareness. I seal the input of flowering with the galactic tone of integrity, and I am guided by the power of elegance. You harmonize in order to target. Modeling awareness. You seal the input of flowering with the galactic tone of integrity, and you are guided by the power of elegance. We harmonize in order to target. Modeling awareness. We seal the input of flowering with the galactic tone of integrity, and we are guided by the power of elegance. Ashe, Ashe, and Asheo. And this is the red earth wave spell. And this is an evolutionary cycle, and it has 13 kin. Each one of these kin contains a galactic tone, which moves consciousness, and an archetype, which is a dynamic frequency of light that contains the consciousness that's being moved. And these, they shift our consciousness to a more evolved state. That's what they do. And this is taking us through a process where each one of these kin are building on one another. They're building on one another. So by the time we get to the 13th kin, the final kin of the wave spell, we have a more strengthened ability to navigate with the navigator, with that navigator energy, with the red earth energy. So we can navigate, so we can tap into the synchronicities and evolve with them. So this particular wave spell, we have gone through and are going through kin 157, which is the red magnetic earth, kin 158, which is the white lunar mirror, kin 159, which is the blue electric storm, kin 160 is the yellow self-existing sun, kin 161 is the red overtone dragon, kin 162 is the white rhythmic wind, kin 163, my lovely wife Adila, kin 163, happy galactic return, the blue resonant night, kin 164, Shan the sun goddess, the yellow galactic seed, kin 165, that's Queen Umoja, Sister Lisa is the red solar serpent, kin 166, the white planetary world bridger, kin 167, the blue spectral hand, kin 168, that's Mama Phyllis, the yellow crystal star, and my perfect mental. And then we have kin 169, the red cosmic moon. And to anybody who I may have missed, happy galactic return to you. And that is our wave spell that we're currently going through. And this is the Zolkin, the 260 spin sacred calendar, which consists of the 13 tones, and where all 20 of the archetype go through all of the 13 tones to equal the 260 expressions of the creator. These expressions of the creator this is what we possess inside. This is who we are. And this calendar really is helping us bring that out of us. We have 52 galactic activation portals. Those are the green squares you see on this calendar. And you can also see the 20 archetype on the left side. But the galactic activation portals, this is an amplified energy where you have the kin that are not galactic activation portals. I'm gonna say they're more subtle. You know, this takes us through a subtle process, but those galactic activation portals, you might have something powerful happen that quantum leaps you, taps you way deep into your memory. And this calendar with its 260 kin equates to, 260 plasmas, 260 days. And this is equivalent to the gestation period, or the time that it took our spirit to go through its own, it goes through the 260 kin, and come out for us to incarnate into one of these kin, which is where we get our kin number and our purpose. And this calendar for me, like I say, is subtle. And starting out with not much any knowledge about this at all, like not much any knowledge about spirituality at all. I'll say, I have been doing this for a bit now, but from where I started, to be tapping into these kin, to really not even understand integrity, to really not even understand, just any kind of awareness, and to be going through these cycles, and for these things to be developing and helping me make better decisions. This is what this does. So you can only imagine, if you already have a strong base in those fundamentals, what this can do for you. But as you can see, we're on the yellow seed, and it's highlighted in the black square, kin 164. That's where we are on the Zolkin calendar. All right, so this is the synchronometer. And it's called the synchronometer because it combines calendars. So we're combining the Tzolk'in calendar, which we just talked about, and you can see those kin on here, and the 13 moon calendar, along with the Gregorian calendar, you know, and this helps us to get in alignment, or to stay in alignment with natural time. And because, you know, we're a part of this society, you know, we have to deal with the Gregorian calendar, but the following the natural cycles actually helps us to remove or to prevent the irregularities caused by the following the unnatural time, which is what happens when you're solely following that calendar. Yep. And so right now we're in the frequency of the spectral tone, because every moon is connected to a tone. So we're in the frequency of the spectral tone, which is dealing with dissolving, releasing, and liberating. You know, and this is we're liberating ourselves from those things that are not supporting our evolution. And every moon asks a question based off the tone that it's in. This one's asking us, how do I release and let go? Every moon, this moon, like every moon, has 28 plasmas, which represents the moon's orbit around the Earth. And this is us tapping into the lunar cycles. And when we bring all these 13 moons together, it equates to one solar cycle, plus 1 day at a time, because the 28 times 13 is going to be 364. We have 365 days of plasmas in a solar cycle. So that 1 day at a time that's where we celebrate the conclusion of a cycle, what we've learned and how we've grown, and we get together and celebrate, and we are focusing on the preparation for the new cycle. These moons start on July 26th every year. So the plasma, the date that you see on the calendar is not going to change from the Gregorian calendar. And I know y'all hear me saying mixing plasma and day a lot. We like to remember that some of these words sound like words that have a lower frequency. So we focus on the plasmas, which, you know, this is energy that we actually can tap into. We'll get into that here in a second. And also you'll hear me say heptad as opposed to weak. Again, you know, we're not tapping into weak frequencies. We're tapping into these frequencies that actually help us evolve. And so the plasma, well, every moon has 7 plasmas. You know, these are synonymous with the day of the week from the Gregorian calendar. And in these plasmas, this is how thought travels. You know, when we tap into these plasmas, which is a semi-liquid electricity, and it fills all the empty space. This is how we tap into this cosmic knowledge, the abundance of cosmic knowledge that we have access to. It's what we have an opportunity to do. And so every Earth rotation, this energy that's being transmitted through these plasmas, it changes its quality. So everyone is different. And these give us a system, you know, to access higher dimensions of ourselves. And we can do that by tapping into the chakras that are associated with these plasmas. When we bring when the chakras and the plasma comes together, it opens up access to a certain part of your mind that you can go deeper into. You have more access to. This is what we have an opportunity to do. And so with Dali, the first plasma of the wave spell, the heptad, this is us tapping into the crown chakra. And then Celi is where we tap into the root chakra, Gamma, your third eye, Kali, your sacral chakra, Alpha, your throat chakra, Lima, your solar plexus, and Celio, your heart chakra. And then we have the heptads, and each moon is like starting a new cycle, you know. And so each moon you are tapping into a new set of insights and downloads. And the first heptad is where those insights and downloads initiate view. You're initiating, wider perception of whatever it is you're tapping into. And then the second heptad is where you refine that. It refines meditation. The third heptad is where your conduct is being transformed from this process. And the fourth heptad is the yellow heptad, where the power from all of this work you've been doing generates a result, ripens the fruit. And you can see here we're on the 21st plasma of the spectral moon, Kin 164. Yeah, and so this is just a little bit about how this calendar works. Again, the kin you see on here, they're not always going to be on these same dates, these same days on the calendar, because the Tzolk'in calendar is 260, and this calendar is 364 plus 1. And so just know that for your birthday, your solar return, that's going to stay the same, but the kin will change. All right, let's move to the next screen here. All right, so this is our reading for the yellow seed, or the fourth archetype out of the 20. It's also called the innocent. All right, and it reads, I am the innocent. My sign is the yellow seed. I enter your universe from the first gate of light. My number is 4. Clear, self-existing, intrinsic awareness is my nature. Transparent, radiant, I sow the seeds of omniscience from the earth. I am the flowering of intrinsic awareness. In pure consciousness, I bear the fruits of the spirit. I am the unimagined blossoming of the new, unsullied by desire, contrivance, or secret motivation. I am the holy fool. People mistake me for a simpleton, but I'm merely the self-reflecting face of all their projection. If you wish and you are pure, I'll share my secret with you. To know me is to rise in the strength of spirit and to resist all that is unlike good. Ashe, Ashe, and Asheo. All right, we have the announcements coming up, so y'all stay tuned, tap in, see what we got going on, and I will return shortly.
Awake, I am today. Daily acknowledges the act of God empowering me to breathe. Represents more time to live, move, and have my being. Amazing I am shows the wonders of light shining on my face. Healed from afflictions, distractions, and manipulations of this world. Strong I am today as the sun shines, wind blows and rain falls, reminding me to stand each test time. Wise as I am today to see the truth at face value and walk with confidence, knowing.
Habitats of weeds, deadly supplies. Habitats of weeds, deadly supplies. Habitats of weeds, deadly supplies. Habitats of weeds, deadly supplies.
Awake I am today. Acknowledges the act of God empowering me to breathe. Alive I am today represents
All right, we are back. We are back. Yes, Priestess Mood bringing us the music, the art, gratitude, gratitude. Priestess Mood, it's beautiful, beautiful slides, and that song. That song is funky. Thank you. All right, we have Moon Goddess Ambrosia, the fifth force oracle of Moon Goddess and the Healing Arts, and she is a synchronistic human school of enlightenment instructor and a mimic priesthood initiate. And she always is dropping a powerful message. She's got a very strong command of the kin and how they operate, how they help. So y'all tap in again, and you might want to grab your pens and your paper so you can take some notes for this. And I yield the mic to Moon Goddess Ambrosia.
Peace, wholeness, and divine blessings, everyone. I am the Fifth Force Oracle, and I am here to share the collective cosmic oracle reading of evolution, aka the core reading for us on this plasma. And so I definitely have to share some acknowledgments and give gratitude to the founders of Mimic, which is High Priestess Mayat M. Ma'akaru Amen, Nebta Harka, and Baba Wanique, for all of their, well, for them having the vision and also the contributions and the dedication that they've given to create such a community that's focused on us evolving global consciousness of the melanin dominant population. Okay, and so I also am honored as well to be a part of, um, to be a priestess initiate of the Mimic Priesthood. Definitely thankful for the opportunity because it helps me to strengthen my inner calling and actually take that calling to the next level. So I'm thankful to be a part of that journey with the priesthood. Also, shout out to Synchronistic Human School of Enlightenment and all of those that support Mimic, Synchronistic Human, as well as Moon Goddess and the Healing Arts. And so, with that, I want to go ahead and get us prepared for this oracle reading. And also, shout out Brother Akil for always holding it down, bringing us into the sessions, and just giving us the overview and the reminder of where we currently are within the cycles. We really have this opportunity to use the cosmology to personally develop ourselves through just observing how we are in our relationship with our own energy, our own divine essence, and bringing those things to our awareness so that we can align within and as a collective. And so, in this oracle reading, I want to invite you all to look at it from the perspective or the mindset of a synchronaut, which is recognizing that you are a living expression of divine synergy in motion. Here, remembering what your divine purpose is so that you can consciously create and fulfill your soul's mission. And being that we are uh, wrapping up the blue heptad and preparing for the yellow heptad, what I would love for us to focus on is now, now that, we've been going throughout this moon through the first through heptads of, gaining new insights and refining ourselves. And, we've reached a point of, having that patience to transform our conduct so that we can really come into our full creative power, our full creative essence. And so what I would like for us to do is to focus in on, shifting into consciously creating for the purpose of fulfilling your mission. So this next part we're going to do, we are going to say our personal galactic signature affirmation. And we're doing this to, reconnect or stay in that connection, or to, just sit in that frequency of what we embody, or the divine energy that we embody when we incarnated. And really pay attention to, any energy or thoughts or insights that may flow in for you, that is, that you feel called to focus in on. You want to tap into your own frequency with this. And so I would love for us to just take a moment to do like a 4-count breathing, where you're going to inhale for a count of 4, hold it for 4, exhale for 4, and then hold it for 4. And then after that, I just want you to slowly take a deep inhale and exhale. And we're going to do this to prepare for saying our affirmation. So, we're just breathing just to, calm our minds and to get present and prepared for the oracle reading moving forward. All right, so let's go ahead and take a deep breath. Hold it. Exhale. Hold it. Now take a slow inhale in through your nose, filling up your chest, and then exhale slowly out of your mouth. And now, we're going to say our affirmation. So I want you to speak it out loud, or say it at your pace, and really resonate with the words of your affirmation. Pay attention to what's standing out for you. And so we're going to do this by saying, as a living expression of, then you're going to say your kin number, its name, and then your galactic signature. And so please join me in stating your affirmation as I state mine. As a living expression of Kin 181, the red crystal dragon, I dedicate in order to nurture, universalizing being. I seal the input of birth with the crystal tone of cooperation. I am guided by the power of space. Ashe, Ashe, and Ashe-yo. And one last line I want us to say is, just repeat after me. I am consciously creating and fulfilling my soul's mission. Ashe, Ashe, and Ashe-yo. All right, so just a little background. We are navigating and making sure we're holding that integrity. And so that is the kin in the center that we are focusing on today, which again is holding the galactic tone. And the galactic tone, or the question that comes with the galactic tone, is, do I live what I believe? So that's like, based on the things that you are aware of, do you really live like that? Do you really think like that? Is that how you really feel? So this is the kin of this plasma is helping us to tap into that awareness so that we can know how to model, the art of who we say we are and what we say we're here to do and create and etc. Right? And so I do want to just, touch on the spirit guide position, or the kin in the spirit guide position, which is the yellow galactic star. And it's talking about modeling the art so we can beautify the elegance. So sometimes when we see these words, we gotta like switch it up to another word that really hits harder. So for me, when I think about elegance, the first thing that comes to mind is grace, moving with gracefulness and having a certain way that we're practicing it. Practice is another way to look at the art. It's an artistry. It's a certain practice. Like, you're not just just doing it real quick, trying to get it done and over with. It takes some creative essence and some artistry to beautify it, right? So it's the same thing with how we model our awareness. We're being guided to model our awareness just like it's a work of art, because we are a work of art. And so that is the direction that we are to focus with whatever it is that we're aware of. Whatever came up for you, focus on different, like how you can model um, gracefulness. How can you model being in the artistry or in the practice of taking that awareness towards for planting the seeds or fulfilling your goals. And so I do want to jump down to before I jump down to the emotional body, I do want to mention that the spirit guide is guiding us towards reflecting divine order, or universalizing order, or establishing some order in our lives, so that excuse me, so that we can really show up in what we're saying that we're dedicated to accomplishing. Okay, so just want you to keep that in mind as we continue to go through the reading. You'll start to see how the different archetypes of the Destiny Oracle is helping us to get that order straight. Okay, so now let's go ahead and look at the emotional body, where we have the red rhythmic earth. And what's so dope about us having the rhythmic earth in the emotional body, remembering that the emotional body is where we get the energy fuel to, where we're getting the fuel from. So like, we can have a focus, but to actually get moving in the focus in the direction we're meant to go, we got to get some energy. We got to get something we got to get some energy and motion flowing inside of us. So that's the emotions. The emotions is what fuels us to take certain actions. It also fuels the way that we think, along with different perceptions that we may have, or impressions that we picked up on. And so just to bring it back to the emotional body, the red rhythmic earth sits here, and it is fueling us to bring balance in our life, bring balance to the way that we are evolving or navigating in our evolution. So it's telling us to bring balance to the synchronicities. So the way that synchronicities are created is based on the energy, thoughts, and our actions, right? So we got to bring balance to all of those things. They all have to be in alignment with what we're aware of and the goals that we are heading towards. And so what I was saying about this being dope as um, for being in the emotional body is because it is talking about balance, and the main frequency that the yellow seed is the galactic tone, which is talking about harmony. So in order to create harmony, we got to have some balance. You know what I'm saying? So I also think of the harmony and the balance, like being in a state of um, equilibrium. Like, we got some balance all around us in the way that we feel, our thoughts, and our actions. And so yeah, I thought that was really dope to see that the rhythmic tone is the emotional tone for the galactic tone. And so I'm going to go ahead and move on to the mental body, where we have the white galactic wizard. And the white galactic wizard is a part of the blue hand wave cell, which is the mission to accomplish, or the mission of accomplishments. So when we think about how the wizard is sitting in the mental body is there to strengthen our focus. This is where we will notice different challenges in our experience. However, on the other side of the challenge is the actual gift. So bringing it to the fact that this wizard is a part of the blue hand wave spell, we could be thinking about, or what this oracle is doing is encouraging us to think about some of the challenges that we have when it comes to modeling the awareness and, getting into the art of reflecting the order of our goals, because, like, for example, we could know that we got to do all these different steps to fulfill our goal. However, if we're not modeling that receptivity, then it'll be a lot more challenging to actually complete or accomplish those goals. So this is where we have the galactic wizard here to say, okay, look, I'm gonna need you to enchant timelessness. Stop trying to rush stuff. Stop being intimidated by time or feeling the pressure of time, and really allow yourself to sit in that space to model the receptivity. So it also reminds me of how, like, we could become aware of something, but we try to avoid it. You can't avoid what you're aware of. If you're aware, you're aware. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean you gotta do something right away. Like I said, you could still sit in that space of receptivity to recognize how you want to navigate now with this awareness. So, on this plasma, we are being challenged to strengthen our focus by being receptive of the things that we become aware of. And so, like, for example, because we are in the spectral moon, the spectral moon is like, throughout this whole moon, we're meant to focus on releasing and letting go. So throughout this moon, if you became aware of certain things you needed to release and let go, here again, this is the perfect time to really sit in that and be receptive to it. Stop trying to avoid letting go of the things that you need to let go of to meet your goals. And so that is what the white galactic wizard is bringing in for us to do. And then last but not least, on the right, this is the physical body position where, like, whatever we're experiencing on the inside or observing on, okay, let me say it this way. Whatever we are experiencing on the inside is going to be reflected on the outside, just because we are perceiving it. And just in the reverse, whatever we're perceiving in our day-to-day experiences is a reflection of how we're perceiving. So by us being aware of the perceptions that we have, that can also influence how we model our awareness, or model what it's like to go after our goals. And so, being that we have the blue galactic eagle that's sitting here, is supporting us to create the vision through modeling the mindset that we need to meet the target. So, like, I was thinking about an experience that I had recently, where I had like this really profound clarity moment, of me recognizing some quote unquote blockages in me staying focused, right? And so when I sat in that awareness of it, it's so dope because, okay, let me not get sidetracked. But anyway, so when I sat in my awareness of it, I just had this aha moment where it became clear to me that, okay, if I keep getting distracted by me being aware of something that's not actually helping me to fulfill my goals, maybe I need to change my mindset. So then I'm like, okay, so what can I transform my mindset to help me operate in the mindset that I need to operate in? And that's essentially what the blue galactic eagle is there to do. So what also can support us in modeling this mindset is to create the vision. create the mental picture of what you see what it's going to look like for you to accomplish your goals, or for you to model your goals. Okay, so that is essentially what the Blue Galactic Eagle is encouraging us to do, or is there to support us in doing. And so as we transform our mind, we also transform the experiences that we're having, in our daily experience, which also shifts the synchronicities that pop up. And then therefore we come into more clarity of how to reflect the divine order that's going to help us to accomplish our goals. And so also with that, we go through this process of enduring, catalyzing our own creative essence, constantly catalyzing our own essence as divine frequency beings, so that we can, plant the seeds that we intend to plant or to experience. And so with that, basically going to conclude the oracle reading for us on this plasma. And, just remind you or encourage you all to be intentional. Be in wait, I don't want to say it. Be in intentional alignment with the natural cycles, so that you empower yourself, empower your own divine awareness, and look at different ways that you can creatively contribute to your personal evolution and the evolution of us as a whole. And so with that, I'm going to go ahead and close out, sending you my love, my gratitude. Just want to say that, I love y'all for holding space and really allowing me to share my calling with you all. And I want to say, may that you all enjoy your creation today. And I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. Love y'all. Peace.
All right, always excellent, always excellent. I can relate to her mentioning just what you're focusing on, and kind of having to come to a point where you make purpose more important, or more of the focus than anything else. Gratitude, Fifth Force, for that excellent presentation. Y'all know what time it is. Our visionary leader, spiritual guide, extraordinary teacher, harmonizing inspirer, committed mother, powerful goddess, soulful healer, Kin 242, High Priestess Ma'at Imakaru Amen, who embodies her archetype, integrity, harmonizing. You know what I'm saying? Much gratitude, HP, for all that you do, and I yield the mic.
Amen. The high priestess, the mimic who pulled me in. Amen. The high priestess, the mimic who pulled me in. It's time we come together to raise our consciousness. Amen. The high priestess, the mimic who pulled me in. Amen. Amen. The high priestess, the mimic who pulled me in. Amen. It's time we come together to raise our consciousness.
All right. Great dawning, everyone, and welcome to Aligning with the Cycles. And I'm just excited to be here. And yes. Let's get started. All right. So give thanks, Brother Akil, for being our host here this dawning. And I really appreciate the dedication. These crystal tones, that's what they be doing. And then he's mirror. So, we done got the whole cosmos into space and all kinds of things, right? So give thanks. Also, shout out to Priestess Moot, my aunt there for her Bibla. You know what I'm saying, right? With all of these beautiful slides, I'm telling you, it's hard not to get mesmerized by the slides. While you're presenting. And then also shout out to Moon Goddess Ambrosia, the Fifth Force Oracle, for bringing us that Oracle reading. And all of you for coming up this rising and being here with us to, align with the cycles, right? So that's what we're doing. All right. So let's get into it. We are here in this wave spell of the red earth. And as we know, the red earth is the wave spell of evolution. You can call it the wave spell of synchronicity, the wave spell of navigation, whatever resonates with you. We say this all the time. This is cycles within cycles within cycles, right? And so that is the energy that's happening. And then within our own frequencies, right? We are going through various cycles within cycles within cycles ourselves, right? And so with that, there may be, depending on what we are experiencing, there may be different terms, different words, different ways of hearing things that resonate with us more than others, right? That's why these are perspectives. This is why we love to hear from various perspectives on the same information, right? Because it's going to come through a little differently when you hear it from Brother Akil. It's going to come through a little differently when you hear it from Priestess Moot. It's going to come through a little differently when you hear it from Fifth Force Oracle. You see what I'm saying? There are 260 expressions of the Creator in which we all have come through in one of those 260, right? And so as one of those expressions, we have a unique way of presenting, or those vibrations, those frequencies coming through us, right? So it's really an exciting thing. That's why, when I meet people, I'm just always curious, like, ooh, what archetype are they, right? And I usually find out. So that, because that makes the communication stronger, right? It makes it a little easier to know who I'm communicating with. It also, and with that, it helps with interpersonal relationships, right? Again, those of you who are in our 13 tones class, you know what I'm talking about, right? Because by now you done seen some things. You already know, ooh, I see why every time I communicate with such and such, this is what happens, right? So let's talk about where we are, right? We are in this wave spell of the red earth. And, I call this go time, right? This is go time. This is the wave spell of evolution. Now, let's talk about how we got here, right? We got here, and I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. I'm going to go down here. Okay. We got here because we started right up here in this beginning. Right now, let me tell you what this is. If you're new people, if there are any new people in the house, shout out, welcome, right? Y'all shout them out and, let them know, say hello, right? All right. So we started where you see number one, but let me explain real quickly what this is. If you look all the way over to the right hand side, that is our this is the Zokin harmonic module. And what this does is it takes you through. Why is it laid out flat? and it has these blocks, is because we've all had that program, right? So this allows you to go into the program, but then it's kind of like a trick, right? It tricks you into natural frequencies, right? But so you look at it flat, and then once you get in there, you're like, oh, wait a minute, hold on. I can understand what I see all the way on this left-hand side. The left-hand side is the original model of the Zokin that has 20 archetypes. That's that big wheel. And then the little wheel is the 13 tones, right? Or these are modern translations. Archetypes is a modern translation. Tones is a modern translation, right? They're solar seals, and the tones are like the aspects, different roles, different functions, right? So with that, right, we took and we broke this down into 5 cycles, right? That kind of help us see how we are traveling through these cycles within cycles within cycles, right? So the first one in the middle is the new birth and the new being, right? That's when we started at kin number 1, right? So kin number 1 is that's the first wave spell. That's what we hear, our new birth, our new being, a new paradigm, right? So we go through that cycle. The second cycle is that's our prophecy, right? Our divine prophecy and its influence. It ends with us having influence, and I like to say that's the same prophecy that we hear about in the Bible, right? Where you gotta somebody say, hey, this one is about to come through here, and then they go into a state of deathlessness, get resurrected, and then have influence, right? Sound familiar, don't it? Okay, so we all get to travel through that frequency, through those channels, right? Every 260 Earth rotations, every 260 so-called days, and what we call plasmas, right? Then right in the middle, now this is the cycle that we just completed. This is where we start to attune our life force to everything that just the new paradigm and the exploration. If you have a new paradigm, right? And I heard in Moon Goddess's oracle reading, when you have a new paradigm, right? I heard her say it when she was talking about the eagle, right? And you change your mind about something. You change your mind about how you're going to, your existence, what you're going to experience. Then you're going to have a new experience. It's going to expand. And so that's what that second cycle is for. It's going to expand. You're going to see more of your destiny. You're going to see more, right, of what you came here for. And it's going to be different, right? Then, so that's why you go into in a 260. That's what we call the 260 spin, right? Not so you keep, not a circle, not just traveling around like a hamster on a wheel trying to get some cheese. No, right? It's a spiral, right? And on each level, you get the cheese, right? You get it, and then there's some more cheese, and then maybe something else on these other levels, right? So you're not spiraling or just trying to keep going around and around and around, right? So then in the middle, we get a chance to attune those frequencies. And in attuning those frequencies, we put it into our primary force of life, right? And we go through 10 portals, 10 past portals, and 10 future portals, right? It takes all of that to get a divine being in attunement on earth. Just think about just what is required for us to even to get into those frequencies. This is why, changing your mind. We say this all the time, right? The first thing you do is make a decision. When you change your mind about who you are, about your species, again, this is me, I keep talking about this species, right? What is the primary function of a human? What is our species? And then what does that species do? Right? So when we determine that, well, we're species of the Most High, we're species of Source, we're the species of all, the species of the cosmos. And this is what the cosmos looks like in human form. And so when we're in this form, what do? The same thing that Source does. The same thing that the goddess does, the same thing that God does, the same thing that divine beings do. They create shit, right? And then explore it. And then maybe even enjoy it. They love it, right? They exist as it. Those are just some perspectives, right? And so when we're in that cycle, attuning those frequencies, we go into the past. We go into a Sankofa, right? In those past portals. Because now we have explored more of our prophecy. So we go into we go in and we do a Sankofa and we pull up the things from the past. So not so we can exist in them. This is not the same time. The frequencies have evolved. Maybe the people haven't, or have they? Right? That's a question. It don't seem like it. It's the program. There's a program that got this overlay, right? That got created to put everybody in a state of forgetfulness. But does that really mean that there was no evolution, right? Maybe you can't stop evolution of a divine being, of a God. It's just waiting, right, for us to remember. So when we go into this Sankofa and we pull in from the past a remembrance of who we are so that we can evolve, not so that we can go back and be in the same place that we were when we were. And I know, listen, I want to hear you. I want y'all to hear me all the way through before, people be like, I don't know what you're talking about, high priestess, right? I want to go back to building pyramids. I want to go back to, having that technology. Now, here's what I'll say about that, right? Is, do we really want to return to that? Because even though we had all of that, we got here. Y'all see? So that's why when I talk about, I call it all. Ancestral wisdom evolved. So we do want to gather, remember the knowledge, but we also want to remember what happened to get us to where all of that, with all of that, we're in this state right here of forgetfulness so that it never happens again. That's why the mission of Mimic says creating an everlasting legacy. You see that? Everlasting legacy of of divine frequency beings with immortal health and immortal wealth through the application and remembrance of cosmic knowledge. That's why we call melanated immortals making evolutionary changes. When you evolve, you don't go back. That's why I say it's a difference between adaptation and evolving, right? Adaptation, you got to change again. You got to change again. That's why I say I don't want a revolution. I want an evolution. Evolve is in there, but you got to keep evolving. You got to do it again. No, everlasting legacy. No more. Or excuse me, I caught myself saying no more. Not on this planet again. Not in the cosmos again. Not in any dimension in which we operate. Well, we have this nonsense again. No, we're done. Is there anybody that wants to continue this, to just keep going around in the world of war after war after war? And then this one group is in charge, then the next group, and then the next group. And they all forgot who they came from. And so everybody's trying to be in charge, right? Based on tribes, based on, cultures, based on male versus female. Then, even if it's all the men, let's say it's the patriarch, so the men are in charge, but then it's like what men, right? And if it's the matriarch, sometimes I know that we're in this mode, right, of the matriarchal energy is coming back online. And I just say, hey, we just need to be a little careful and make sure that we don't have the matriarch just replacing the patriarch, but using the same energy. We're talking about, we want an evolution, right? Shifting the global consciousness so that everyone can enjoy the, what do they call it? The perks of being God in the flesh. There's perks to this, right? You get to feel yourself, right? You get to feel the joy. You get to feel joy. You get to feel love. You get to feel excitement. You get to feel adventure. The program has us tricked into only feeling pain and suffering. That's what we talk about. But we learned through our young melanated immortals that that's not natural, right? For example, for the most part, right? If we ask adults, I forget the exact question we asked the children, but we asked them about something from their past, right? As adults, right? Most of the time, we're going to think about something that was not pleasant in our past, right? So we asked the children about that, right? We heard Moon Goddess, she was talking about letting go and everything, right? So, and I think it was something like that, because what we did is we took some of the things that we talk about and discuss with the adults, and we modified it for the children. Right. And so we asked them about, tell us about something that happened in the past. The vast majority of them said they talked about things that they had fun with. Oh, I remember when I went to the fair. I remember when my friend and I were laughing in class. I remember when me and my mom did this, or me and my dad, or they were talking about the fun times. That's the true nature of things that you remember, instead of those things, those thoughts that come in and then you're like, you know how you have them, they come in and you go into it and you cringe because, oh man, I remember that was, I shouldn't have done that, right? That's because that's the effects of the program. But the natural state of things is how the children are. When they think about, just think about, if the only thing that you think about, if your default thinking was of joy, of times of joy, of times of love, of times of sharing, right? If that was your default, right? Then what would your evolution look like? What would you be attracting? Right? I said, give us 260 spins. We will not be speaking about healing no more. We're not going to be talking about coming from how to release pain and trauma. We're going to know, we're going to change our war words, our conflict words, our words of deficit, words of defense, right? Words of lack. We're going to change those terms and be speaking from source. Right? Literally, as I said, sorcerers, that's what we are. Right? And enjoying this physical formation, not waiting for some invisible, something that happens after we drop our bodies. We can enjoy it now. Right? So that is cycle 3. That's the attunement, right? That the past going into the future now. Right? The reason I spent so much time on that, because now we want to talk about completing this evolutionary cycle. Right? I'm like, I can't look at the chat. Okay, let me start looking at the chat. See, every time I gotta start looking at the chat. Y'all gonna draw me in. Okay, so we're talking about completing this evolutionary cycle. Because once we get to evolution, you see how we did all that planning and development? This ain't planning and development. This is not research. Evolution, it intends to evolve. When you evolve, when the universe can't go back to 2 galaxies. See what I mean? That is not adaptation. That wasn't an adaptation. You can't, you know what I'm saying? You're not going back. So when we evolve, we intend for this to stay. It is sustainable. It is an everlasting legacy. Right? So when we go into this evolutionary cycle, we have already planned and developed. We have already researched. We just finished out the wave spell of the yellow seed. Right? That's the finisher. What do we say? Red initiates, white refines, blue transform, and yellow is the finisher. Yellow completes. So we finished out the number 3, the attuning life force, with the yellow seed that showed us where the seeds of our awareness are, where they are, where they're parked, where they are in the ground, where we have planted them, and where they are harvesting. That's what we see. And then it's taken us into this evolutionary cycle. Now let's spend a little time on this one, right? This evolutionary cycle puts us into this group, which we are calling evolutionary intelligence, right? These are just perspectives. And so the Earth wave spell then initiates this evolution. And boy, does it initiate, right? It initiates this evolution, this evolutionary intelligence, right? Brings us into our soul with it's getting refined by the dog wave spell, which is the compassionate one. The compassionate one is the heart. It's literally the weighing of the heart. What do you truly feel? Who are you really? Who are you evolving into? Right? Then once we go through this evolution, we go into our hearts, right? Then we get transformed through abundance. It gets spread out. And I always say this is like the Jubilee. This is the celebration. The celebration of evolution comes in that night wave spell, right? And notice that the resonant night, and we're going to see this in a minute, is the one that sits right in the middle of evolution, right? Then we complete the cycle by going on a quest fearlessly, because we have evolved. It's nothing to be afraid of, right? There's nothing out there. There's nothing in this world, really, that is beyond us. Why? Remember, going back to the question, who are we? What is our species? What is our true function? And there'll be different answers to that question. Why? Because we had never been trained that. In that. In school, nobody teaches you they say you're human, and they tell you what the body is and what it does, but not the function, the role. And everybody might have a different answer to what that is. Right? So if we decide, hey, well, I'm a species of source, I'm a species of the divine being, right? Beings. And so I'm going to operate like that. Then you have no fear of nothing that has been created, because you're a part of the creation. Okay, right? Something to think about, right? Let's look at where we are, right? All right. So again, shout out, happy galactic return to Shan, the sun goddess, or should we say Dr. Shan, the sun goddess, right? This is her galactic return on Kim 164. And shout out to anyone else that's 164, right? Or in the wave spell of the red earth. And it reads, we harmonize in order to target. Harmonizing. Oh, that's wrong. Okay. We harmonize in order to target, modeling awareness. We seal the input of flowering with the galactic tone of integrity, and we are guided by the power of elegance. Ashe, ashe, and ashe. Oh. All right. And so this is the energy that we are operating in on this plasma. But real quick, let's just do a reminder of this wave spell, right? And how we got here. How did we get to harmonizing awareness? Or excuse me, modeling awareness. How did we get to this point? How did we get to the point where we are now in harmony with what we targeted or what we focused on, and we're now modeling this awareness, right? So we started with this magnetic Kin 157, the magnetic earth that says we unify in order to evolve. We could probably just stop right there, right? That's telling you what the whole thing is doing, right? If you go to the end, Kin 169, and you just read the first line of that says, I endure in order to purify, right? Well, you got to read the second one, right? Transcending flow, right? So if you put those two together, it's telling you that we're one to evolve, right? We attracted synchronicity, right? And when we get done, when we're finished, we're going to be at the end door. Got that from 221, right? The end door. We endure. The end door of purification, right? Or we're entering the door. All right. In order to purify. Right? There's many ways to play with this language, right? transcending flow. So we are beyond flow. We have evolved. That's what it's telling us. So this is a way to look at the frequency of evolution, looking at what all of the archetypes in this wave spell, they each have a very significant role. There's not one beyond the other, right? It's the program that puts us in a hierarchy that says, I'm the best. And in order to be the best, somebody else got to be less, right? Why can't everybody be the best? The greatest. Isn't that better? Because if everybody, look at this wave spell. If everyone is not holding their position, if 164 decides, you know what, I'm not going to be here, then that means the whole evolution then has no integrity. Evolving has no integrity if we take it out. Then that means 165 can't do what they want to do, can't do their job. 166 can't do their job. 167, 168, 169. And then all the rest of them, 163 gets to 157 gets left hanging because 164, then there's no integrity. You see, it ain't no hierarchy. We all are one. That's why with the wave spells, it always starts with unifying. We unify in order to evolve. Unify in order to evolve. Attracting. I'm doing my my physical body, right? Right? Attracting synchronicity. We seal the matrix of navigation with the magnetic tone of purpose, and we're guided by our own power double. That's what Kim 157, that's the signature for that, right? So that's how we started. Now, if you look at the next three archetypes, so starting from 157 to 160, all four of those archetypes, even if you do not understand this cosmology, right? Just listen to how it works. Those four archetypes are all what we call matrix. Those are the four archetypes that sit in the court of the creator, right? So just think about that as all of them coming from source, direct from source, right? That's their specialty. Don't make them better, worse, good, bad, whatever. Don't put the two-dimensional terms on it, right? But they're all coming from source. So source is saying, okay, we're navigating from source, not navigating from our problems, our situations, our circumstances, right? We need to stop claiming those first. They are secondary, not primary. That's what this is saying. When you navigating from evolution, you are synchronizing source, from source. And these four are saying, right, that matrix, right? I said matrix archetypes. Matrix means mother. It comes from that. This is source. This big mama. Source. Right? Saying, hey, listen. As we go into evolution, we're going to navigate evolution. This is what I want you to do. I want you to do this. Follow me. Put your hands over your head and put your feet up. Don't do nothing. We got this. We already went through it. You already went through all them cycles. You just attuned all of your frequencies. You went through all 10 past portals. You went through the core, and then you saw where everything was planted and harvesting. I got it from here. Right? And that I got it from here is really you. You got it from here. But it's not no hard work to do. The more you resist what's evolving, I've learned this through going through cycles and cycles and cycles of this, right? That the more that you resist, the more evolution persists, right? Because probably what's happening is in your mind, you're thinking that my situations should evolve, right? It's telling you right there, don't work from there. Don't work from your secondaries. So a lot of times when we're looking at evolution, we're applying evolution to our problems, right? And evolution is like this. Wait a minute, hold on. No, let me evolve you. Let's evolve you as source on earth. Let's evolve you in purpose, right? And then when you look at, then you can really look at them as secondaries and stop having them up here with you as a primary. They got to adjust to you, right? And it's hard to do because that program is so strong. But again, like I say, if that is so strong, imagine what's the term we use? Purpose is more powerful than problems. So if you have a problem that's like overwhelming, then imagine who you are. If that's a secondary and it's a problem and it's overwhelming, and just even if you don't believe it, right? You are more powerful. Your energy is more powerful and more primary than that problem. Just imagine who you are. So maybe take a moment to say, what is that like? Right? What is it like to be in the full authority, the full priority, the full power of my purpose? Even if you don't know what it is. Right? These first 4 archetypes, that's what they're talking about. Right? They're telling you align with that, because you start with that magnetic earth, and then you end with Kin 160, right? Kin 158, right, is the challenge, right? It reminds you to stabilize order. Break yourself, fool, right? Get yourself in order. Don't be sitting there and fighting oh my God, I hope that this is going to solve my problem, right? It says I polarize, right? In order to reflect, stabilizing order, bring stability and order. You are source. You are primary, not your problems. And it is a practice. It is a remembrance. You have to make a decision, and you got to mean it. Not just want it, not just hope it. You got to mean it. And you got to be okay with going through your cycle. Right? These are cycles within cycles within cycles. Be okay with going through your cycle, but know for sure I'm primary. I don't care what shows up. Right? Eventually, everything is going to align with me. I know it. And I'm saying this, and I am saying it also from experience. And from operating in it over and over again, seeing different cycles, right? Because then what happens is it strengthens in you. It becomes your default. right? Because it's your true, and it don't go nowhere. You know why? Because it's your true nature. It's what's natural. You operate just like nature does, right? Any animal out there, they know who they are. They're not always operating in some state of fear, deficit, combat. Even lions, right? Lions don't just walk around and bully other animals, right? Only when they're hungry, when it's time to eat. But other than that, you know, they go down and drink water like the rest of them at the water hole. And they're always looking to eat. Right? So we operate in our true nature all the time. And so and that is always on earth. It's just been dampened. Think about it as a dampener. Our senses have been dampened. Right? The true nature, it's been dampened by the program, but that program is getting it has to adapt. That's the thing. The program has to adapt. It's not evolving, it's adapting. It's adapting to our evolution. But it can't keep up. You see what I'm saying? Because they don't match. It keeps trying to do more and more and more to keep these dampeners on, but they're coming off, and it don't matter what they're putting out there. It's not working anymore. We're waking up, or we are woke, and we staying woke. And we saying, I don't give what you put out there. Shit's not gonna work. I don't care what dimension it come from. Oh, you got friends in other dimensions, so they gonna do what they want. You're not gonna do nothing. Because I done made up my mind. Right? The storm puts it into activation. It activates. It starts catalyzing right away. So you don't even got time to catch your breath. I activate in order to catalyze. That's the first line of 159. I don't know what to tell you. I'm changing. This the world changing. I'm changing the world right now. Your world. Bonding with the energy. This is why you got to just say, let me see what evolves. I'm going to let it go. I trust it. I trust that I am a primary. And that my purpose, my state of being is not owned by a program. The only thing that navigates me, I'm talking about all of us, right? Is divinity, is source. That's what I'm navigating from. That is the source. That is the engine. Right? Kim 160 says, yep, what she said. You know why? Because you define in order to enlighten. Right? Measuring life, measured by your life. We have to have more trust in who we really are. You know who you are. Trust it. Trust divinity. Even if you don't understand why something is happening, why something is occurring in your life. Trust that you are the enlightened one. That you're the world changer. That you are the yogini, that you are the navigator. Trust it. And let it do what it do. It's the part of you, it's the unencumbered. This is like allowing the unencumbered version of you to do what it do. It's unencumbered. Right? It's like the ancestors, right? Your divine, your ascended ancestors. They have freedom. They're not stuck in what happened in the past and how it felt to be in the body. You want to now start to experience the joy in consciousness of feeling. Then you can evolve into that, or you can allow the evolution to happen. And then we can use what our ancestors brought and take it to the next level so that now we create an everlasting legacy. It's no reason for any being coming into physical form to experience what has happened and existed on this earth time and time again. There's no reason for anybody to experience that anymore. For what? What's the purpose? Nothing. We got the lessons. We got the t-shirt, right? We got the keychain and everything. We're done. Right? Kim 161 come in and say, shit, Ashe, right? Right? Says we are in power now of our being. Of our true nature. We are in power in order to nurture commanding being. We are in our true nature. Now we can command how we are being. Right? Ken 162. That's the spirit. Says yes, and bring balance to your spirit. You don't have to be at war with your unencumbered self. It's okay. Those are all of us are all working together. The universe, the ancestors, divine beings, right? Even us in consciousness here on earth. We are all one. Bring all of that into balance. Commune with that. Be in the spirit of that. It's natural. 161 just told us, right? 163 comes in and say, yep. And let me tell you a little bit more about that. Let me tell you how you can have more abundance of that, right? By channeling your dreams, right? And dreaming, if you look at the etymology of that word dreaming, there's a joy in the dream, right? They got us thinking about nightmares, but dreaming is about joy, right? Channeling that joy abundantly, right? Bringing it into your intuition. Don't be afraid of your dreams. Don't be afraid of the truth that's in your heart, that you really want to experience, the things that you really want to be included in, or the world that you like to see. It don't matter how small or how big. You might have a whole vision for the whole world, right? Bring that into your inner tuition, right? Your intuition. That's 163. Then 164, right? That's where we are on this plasma, right? Let's see what 164 got to say. I see I got Priestess Mood over here. Running around the room. I see you. All right. So the yellow galactic seed, Kim 164, is in harmony with evolution, right? We harmonize in order to target, right? We harmonize. We are in unison. When you harmonize, right? You in unison, right? You know, you do, and then somebody go, I love her. I wish I could do it, right? I know. I had to put some silliness in here, right? I know, because I think I was getting real serious, right? I could feel the energy. I was like, damn. I'm like, okay, all right, right? So we're in unison with what? Evolution. with evolving, right? In order to target, we are in unison with our focus, and we are modeling awareness in the mode of evolution. Modeling, if you just break it down, right? That's when we say we're in the mode. When you model something, you're in the mode of it, right? The model's walking down they're in the mode of whatever designer, whatever fashion they have on, right? So we are in unison with our focus, and we are in the mode of evolving. So remember, I said the yellow seed was the one that told us where all that we had done in that previous cycle, where our awareness was seeded and harvested. So it says over here, preparing us for this evolutionary cycle, right? Saying, listen, just go on and let it evolve. Let your unencumbered self do what it do. It's still you. Even if it's not in your conscious mind, it's still you. It's coming direct from source. Let them do what they do. You already put it in, right? So you're in a mode of evolving, right? And I love, I always talk about the galactic tones, right? The galactic tone, what did I say? It holds its integrity. The galactic tone is always the previous wave spell. It want to come back and make sure we got it right. That we did. Okay, did you get it right? You got that on lock? Okay, great. I want to make sure, because now you're in the mode of it. You see how you're in the mode of, okay, great. It's checking in, right? We still in the input of flowering. So we see what we put in blossom. We're seeing it. That's why I say when we're talking about the seed, we're not just talking about planting seeds. We're talking about where they blossom. We're able to see it and experience it, right? With the galactic tone of integrity. When we talk about evolution, one of the words that I like to use is efficient. When something evolves, it's efficient, right? That's why I say it's a difference. It is not adaptation, right? It holds its efficiency. It doesn't go back to 2 galaxies. It can't. It's inefficient to have 2 galaxies. Because if there's only 2 galaxies, then we can't create, these interdimensional wormholes and stuff. It's just a bridge, right? We only need a bridge for that. But now we need warm wormholes, right? And then it might be some other stuff, right? Because now it's becoming more and more efficient. That's what the body does. Right? We don't have to believe no cosmology, nothing that's written in a book by somebody that says it's holy or whatever. And I know I'm a high priestess, but they say I'm blasphemous, right? About everything. Right? Put all of that down. Right? We don't need nothing. If you didn't have none of that, if we didn't even have this cosmology, we didn't have nothing. What you do have is how your body works. Right? The body evolves. It becomes more efficient. And I know what everybody gonna say, right? With the program, right? They got us believing that the more earth rotations, then the body starts to decline. It starts to devolve. You go back to wearing diapers by the time in your 80s and 90s, right? But that's not necessarily true. That's not the true nature of the body. The true nature of the body is to evolve, is to expand. Have you ever seen, like I have a godmother in her 80s, right? And she has been practicing yoga for, I don't know, 60 years or something. She can still put her leg behind her head. She can still hold all these positions better than anybody, no matter what they look like, how fit they are, or whatever. Right? It becomes a part, you just evolve with it. Right? That's why, like, sometimes, like people who are in sports, they become coaches. Right? They may not be jumping and slamming no more, but they could probably still stop somebody no matter how tall they are or whatever. Why? Because they used to be them. They know the move. They can they know how that person's going to move before they move. That's evolution. Evolution is not necessarily you do the same thing the same way all the time. You evolve. You get into another frequency. Doesn't make it better, worse. It doesn't have to be. This is the thing. We got to get away from measuring and evaluating everything. That's also one of the reasons why we have problems. Right? So, for example, if you think about something that you want to do that you can't do because maybe you don't have enough money, maybe you don't have somebody to go with you, or you have a physical thing, and you're hearing all of this and you're saying, well, shit, I'm down with it. I'm willing. Hey, let's go. But I can't do it because I don't have anybody to go with me. I can't do it because I don't have no money. I can't do it because of my physical dis-ease. Right? And then it's the thing that happens right after that that causes the problem. What happens is there is a valuation. He says, well, you start judging it and saying, well, it don't make no sense. Why can't I when I want to? Because then that means that I'm not primary. It means my problem is primary. Because I don't have nobody to go with me. Because I don't have no money. Because my physical. That's it right there. Stop with that. What if it don't mean that? What if it doesn't? What if there's another way to evaluate that or not evaluate it at all? Then now what? You see, it's still you're still primary and that's still secondary. You're still in a position of being objective. Well, then now you can allow things to navigate the way they need to navigate, or you have a better discernment. But you get locked into when you judge it, good, bad, up, down, side, right? Then now you're locked into that position and you're not going to be able to see another position. But again, what I always say, right? Don't be limited. Even if you did, don't limit yourself to it, right? You want to be efficient. And something that's efficient, right? Holds its position, is primary. And if it can hold this efficiency, no matter what, you ain't got no money, you ain't got nobody to go with you, your health, right? We are guided by the power of elegance. It's an art to divinity on earth, especially in this space where we're doing it with this overlay. There's an art to this. But because we are primary, because we have accepted that we are source on earth, then we make this look good. We do this with elegance, beauty and elegance, right? That's what our guide is. That's the way shower, right? Let's take a moment real quick here. And before we close out and look at this yellow seed, right? The yellow seed channels the mirror, channels order, the true order, and it reflects it. This is why it's the finisher, right? It's complete. It completely shows you everything that you focused on, and it's the truth, right? The mental body is the wizard. And I love the way Moon Goddess talked about the wizard in doing the oracle reading. This wizard, right, deals with what we are receptive to, the energies that we are receptive to. And that's what we hear. Remember, I said, what if everything that you recalled was all of the good times? Right? Like the children. That's your mantra. That's your default. That you're always listening to that. When you think about the past, it's always the joy. What if that was your default instead of all the problems? You'd have a different experience. You would be evolving in a different way. You'd be more receptive and not afraid to allow this world to change, even if heads got to roll because of this change. Believe me, I know. I come up here and I talk about rainbows and unicorns and, clouds and shit and fairies. I'm not pretending that the world that we exist in is not here. It really is. Right? But I made a decision, right, to shift the global consciousness, establishing an everlasting legacy of divine frequency beings with immortal health and immortal wealth through the application and remembrance of cosmic knowledge. And yes, what is underneath that is that it might be some slow singing and flower bringing. See, they getting the flowers ready right now. I'm aware, right? Right? It was, what does it say? Expresses and receives awareness from all time, right? The wizard is timelessness. We're standing beyond time. I know the time. Very much aware. And that may happen. But it's okay, right? Because we're creating this legacy, this frequency. Stuff has to, in order for things to change, things have to change. Right? The way that the seed moves, what puts the seed in motion is evolution, right? Is the red earth. So we're getting it double on this plasma because the seed moves through evolution. It's not just flowering awareness and just any old thing. No, evolutionary things. Right? And coming out with the mental state, coming out with this eagle, this blue eagle, with the mental state that's in the mode of evolution. We can create any mental state we want to. This is our universe. Let's use it. Let's change it. Let's change this world. It's okay. We're allowed. We have authority. We got permission. And we have the priority because we are the primary beings. So I love y'all. It's been my honor and my pleasure. Definitely join us on. Hopefully we just demonstrated how we navigate awareness, right? Want y'all to join us. When is this? Oh, tomorrow we do have another session where you want to meet up, and we gonna get up on some real stuff, right? Meet up with us in Virginia coming up for the summer solstice. We're going to have an information session tomorrow at 10 a.m. You can go to our website and RSVP. And with that, love y'all. I'm going to see y'all in the next one. Hotel.
Much gratitude, HP. That was great motivation, taking us into this next heptad. Excellent presentation. We're just gonna close it on out. Y'all have an amazing heptad. If you have not already, like and subscribe. Share it with a like-minded individual. And you can also donate. That's always helpful. Help keep us moving in with these amazing sessions. And on that note, peace.
Immortal. Yeah. Came out the portal, immortal into a human body. I've been existing way before the earth had Anunnakis. Intergalactical battles, intergalactical travels, infinitely going through stars. The universe will unravel all of its secrets. Peep it, I'm starting to leak it. Time for truth is coming 100, it's time to seek it. Expanding my perception through the spectrum of light. I'm going in with spectrum and the shit's out of sight. We indigo children, yeah, we building frequencies through the ceiling. Penetrating through reality, a marvelous feeling. Regardless, we're healing these humans that be claiming we demonic. The resonance goes over their heads, we super cosmic. The logic is ignorance mixed with fear in your thinking. My pineal gland is flooded, son, that shit don't be blinking. Sinking into your subconscious like a song with no words. The way I come up with these symbols of letters is absurd. Hey yo, my rhymes are like angelic beings. The shit is freeing, so pure that if you were born blind, I'll have you seeing. Breathing in a multi-dimensional light so captivating. Double helix is nonsense, so what I'm activating, feel the power from within, seeping right through my skin. From the earth into my feet as it goes up to my chin. It got me grinning, rotation like spirals, my music spinning. I told you that I don't be playing, still I'm always winning. Fibonacci to the haters, curving right to the side. They don't understand the energy, it comes from inside. So inside is what I master, used to be a disaster. Now I'm gladly elevating to a whole new chapter. Yeah, I'm giving birth to a whole new style. I incarnated through New York, yeah, I rep Long Island. Don't get it twisted though, I'm truly repping this earth. I came to free all these humans and show you all what you're worth. Immortal. Yeah, raising your frequencies one soul at a time. As I pass this mic to my boy Spectrum, yo Spectrum, light that up, kid.
They tried to tell me I'm mortal, I told them I was immortal. They asked me what makes me different, I asked them what makes you normal. I just followed my morals and I unfollowed the formal. Hopped on a track with crews, now we straight cruising through portals. I download the Metatron, I'm reversing it till I'm dead and gone. If you think I'm dope, you said it wrong. Not trying to flex, but I'm hella strong. Mine did things you never seen. When I say mine, you know what I mean. I'm the most when I'm in my mode, and y'all average is like the mean. I really didn't mean to go intervene. I'm the middleman chilling in between. You should do the math, we ain't keeping score. But I just hit a 3.14. I cook it up, make it look easy as pie. I'm moving in silence and seeing the sign. I am the G, if you remove me, all you gon' see is your sins. This is a big game of six, the simulation is breaking again. I'm taking control, creating my soul, and if the truth fits, I'm breaking it in. Breaking it. All I really know is that I'll never know. I've been here for forever, don't know when to go. I think that indicates that I'm an indigo. In that case, I'm in the go. Green light, my heart, chakra, booming. Solar, plexus, Lexus, zooming. You assuming that I'm human. I'm just being what you doing. I've been teaching teachers frequently. It's apparent I'm a parent when it comes to raising frequencies. The way I'm living life, I haven't rest in peace recently. Immortal with my technique, but my ego dying easily. Death is teasing me by leaving me with DMT. Now it seems to me that everything I see is seeing me. Life is just an infinite circle with a twist. I used to want to be like them, now they do not exist.
Immortal.